It's Emily and Nicole!
We are here to discuss a very interesting topic, and I wanted to just get right into it. So, Emily, you are how old right now?
I am 43.
She's 43. I'm older, I'm 44. Older, wiser, a little bit more chubby.
Oh my goodness.
Emily had something really interesting happen to her when she was 21 years old. What was that?
Most of you have not heard of Stargardt's disease, spelled like this. It's German. And so it's a degenerative eye disease, and I won the genetic lottery from my parents. Both my parents were carriers, and that was, and it created me.
So what is Stargardt's disease?
Stargardt's disease is it's a retinal degenerative disease. So when I was 21, I noticed I was a senior in college, and I was in the front row of my class, and I still couldn't see the board, and I was like, okay, something's wrong, because I had contacts, and so I was like, okay, I need a new contact prescription because this is really off. And so I made an appointment with an eye doctor. He said, we have a problem, and my doctor referred me to a specialist at the University of Utah Moran Eye Center, and that's where it all began. And that's where I found out that I had been blessed with the opportunity to go blind slowly. Right now, my vision is at 2,500 corrected.
So
all the world is a blur. But yeah, that's
it's good because then I don't have to ever wear makeup.
You know what? Sometimes it is a blessing that you don't see certain things.
It is nice.
For example, on some European beaches, it's great when you can't see.
Is that person wearing a swimming suit? I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, it's great. So I miss a lot of things in life, some good, some bad.
So at this point in time in your life, you were at college, you were dating somebody, you were engaged.
I was engaged, actually. So I found out I was diagnosed because it took a while to get into my to the specialist. And shout out to Dr. Bernstein at Moran Eye Center.
You'll find his information here.
I'm sure he really watches this
Personal
channel
email right here.
The crazy part is that he happens to be one of the world's leading experts, researchers on this very specific diagnosis of Stargardt's. And it's just starting to kind of come to the scientific world's notice. There are not a lot of us.
Which is interesting because you moved into Utah when you were 14. Mm-hmm. And it happened to be the exact same state of a specialist for this specific, very rare eye disorder.
No coincidence. I think I was 2 weeks from getting married, actually. By the time I saw Dr. Bernstein and got diagnosed, or I gave my fiance at the time, I was like, hey, you can back out because I might be blind for the rest of my life. And being the exceptional guy he is, he stuck around.
He said, I'll be your eyes,
I'll be your chauffeur,
and the love of your life for the rest of your life.
He actually loves it because he says that he will forever be very attractive in my eyes because I can't see him.
Side note, he's attractive in my eyes too.
So you get this diagnosis and oh my gosh, life kind of changes a little bit.
Not at first. I did have a struggle with reading. That started to become a really big issue. So I started with large print books. Reading is a giant part of my life, right? So, you know when people say, like, would you rather be, if you had to choose, would you rather be deaf or blind? I don't have to choose anymore. So
it's true. And you know what? She's got the ear of a bat.
I do.
Just one, though. The other one's not working so well. How did that make you feel like you first got that moment of, like, that news that, like, oh, I might actually go blind someday?
It took me a while to process that, for sure. And I did go through lots of, self-reflection. But then I just started to get to work. Like, okay, what is my plan? Because I am not giving up the stuff I love. Not going to do it. Like, that's the one thing. It hit that button in me that was like, I'm not giving that up.
Right.
I did have to give up driving. I found out that I couldn't get my license, and I went out in the DMV parking lot, and I sobbed on a curb. And that was a low point in my life. But since then, I've kind of gotten over it. I love to drive. Oh my gosh, I love to drive. So when I go to heaven, that's the first thing I'm doing. Road trip. And I'm driving, and it's going to be like months long, this road trip.
I actually met you when you could drive.
I could, I couldn't drive at night or on the freeway.
Yep, I remember that moment where suddenly not only did they take that away from you, but you also had to start relying on other people.
I hate that more than anything. This is the part. So asking people for rides takes me back to when I was 15. And I had to ask my mom.
Ride.
Yeah, I have to bum rides. So what I do is I do work. And so my work is about 4 miles away, which is great. So I got an e-bike, and it's a pretty sweet e-bike. In Utah, sometimes it snows. So,
side note, our snowpack in Utah is doing great.
I do ride my bike to school, which is great. It's mental wellness time. I get fresh air. I get a little bit of exercise, because it really is uphill both ways from where we live. There are hills every which way. But that has been the hardest part, is asking people for rides. I hate it more than anything. But luckily, I have neighbors and good friends who are super gracious. They help me keep my job. They help me do what I love to do.
But then something crazy happened to just throw you off again. And it was 2018.
Yeah.
And I will say my side of it. I got a call from my friend, and she's like, and Emily had been on a family vacation in a place called Price. If you've been there, it's pretty
That's
great.
where my husband's from.
And then I got a call that said, hey, Emily's been in an awful accident. Like 100%, like everything was like, woof. At that moment, I remember I was getting pizza, and it was just like, drop the pizza. I didn't drop it literally, but I just didn't pay for it, and I walked out the door. So whoever got that pizza, it was already made for you. And I drove to the hospital to await you, because she had to get into a life flight to come to the hospital. Mm-hmm. She basically fell how many feet off a cliff?
I was flung off a cliff. So off the back of a four-wheeler.
Yes.
Which, side note, I had not been on a four-wheeler. I am not a huge ATVer. I'm just not. We happened to be on one. That's what happened. I got flung off the back of it. I hadn't been on a four-wheeler for years. Anyways, and that's what happened. It was very much an accident. And
you fell down like 60 feet?
Somewhere between 60 and 80.
Somewhere there.
I don't remember.
Well, she doesn't remember, but she landed on her face.
I did, and I broke my back and my neck and my face.
Yes.
In the process, I also broke my optic nerve.
Yes.
So,
her eyes.
Yeah, so of course, the one thing that I didn't want to damage, I did. So this eye, they don't even measure it anymore on the chart. They just see if I can see fingers from how far.
So, I mean, talk about like a crushing moment, right? Another moment of reflection, of trying to figure out, okay, how is this new normal gonna work for me? You weren't even sure what state your eyes were gonna even be in.
No, because my face was completely swollen. They had to rebuild my face, so my face was. So this is like my. Most of my face is titanium, so I'm like a robot.
Yeah, she is.
Here.
Sometimes I knock on her just to hear this sound.
This is not my real face.
She's got perfect. Have you seen the skin?
No.
She's got perfect skin.
No, it's all under the surface. It's all metal. It was all swollen, and it was swollen for like 6 months. So I didn't know, and it took me about a year to figure out that my eyesight was like really bad. Now is a great time to be blind, though. Well, you see these little handy iPhones. I'll show you. So this is my iPhone screen. It's giant. It's as big as it can go, right? But let me show you, like, oh, here's my inbox. And people, when they see it, they're like, whoa, I can read your emails from like across the room. And I'm like, yeah, too bad. I can't even read it when it's this close to my face. I can have my texts read to me, right?
Awesome.
I can dictate my texts. That's helpful.
And we love to get your dictated text. Tell us about the one from this weekend.
There was a word, and it was supposed to be fork.
There was a word that I never say ever in my whole life if I said it, and I said it over text.
And I laughed so hard, I thought I was gonna like roll off the bed.
We had a local concert called Fork Fest, but it wasn't Fork Fest.
I do it all the time. When you're blind, you just get excuses
do
like
whatever you
that.
want.
Yeah.
That's another thing you get is excuses.
No, I mean, there are things that I will say I do not use my phone like
Right.
other people use their phones. I just don't. And I think most other people who are blind, they get it. You just do the basics, and that's about it. Like, I don't have a ton of apps on there because I can't see them. And then like I told you, I was not going to give up reading. I'm not going to do it, and I'm never going to do it. And there are services that you can get, like even bigger magnifiers and stuff like that. So I know that as I get worse, I'll go to bigger things. So I have my Kindle. Maybe the saddest day besides driving was not being able to read like an actual, just go to a library and pick a book off a shelf and just read it. So again, on my heaven road trip, I'm also going to be stopping at every bookstore that's available and reading a book. So this is my Kindle, and this is as big as it goes, but as you can see, I've had people make comments on, and this is not, I wish it was bigger. Maybe like 3 words on the page would be perfect. I've had people on airplanes say, whoa, I can see that from the very back. I could read your book along with you. I'm like, well, congratulations.
Well, awesome. Well, I bought it for the both of us.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. You don't think about all these things, but it's like you get mail and you're like, I am going to go get my magnifier, and sometimes that's not even big enough, right? So,
and there's times where I tip for her, like she'll get her, we'll go to lunch, and then she'll be like, can you just put the tip in? And I'm like, $400. And then I just am like, whoops.
I know.
No, just kidding.
And so I get embarrassed a lot. Like I do embarrassing things a lot. I don't know that I get embarrassed anymore because I'm like, but there I do get weird looks. Many weird looks.
Well, and another thing that you love to do, and that really this has not stopped you from doing it all, you travel a ton.
We do. I love to plan trips. That is one of my hobbies, actually. I will just plan trips for fun. Even if we're not going to go right away, I'll just plan them for fun. So like I use my desktop. I don't use a laptop because laptops just don't work for me accessibility wise. So I do everything on a desktop, and I have it giant. You see my desktop.
Yeah.
It's big, and my Word documents are zoomed, and every time Nicole gets one of my documents, she has to put it back down to a normal person's
fun.
font. So
if you ended up going fully blind, you're still gonna write.
I already know how. I've already created a plan for if I, I don't know. It could be any time. It could be no time. So, but I already know that if I do go blind, I can dictate my writing, and there are programs that can help me. Like there are just people that are doing some really cool things that help people like me. So
friends, family, that's huge. What are some of the things that you have, that help lean into the hope side of things?
So whatever you're struggling with, and everybody's got a struggle. Whatever it is, there is a way to continue doing what you love. There is. So.
I totally agree, and I've been able to watch you throughout the years, and you still have such a passion for life, and a passion for all your hobbies and all the things that you want to do. And I think that that's a huge promise to anybody out there that's going through hard things.
It is.
There is a way to figure it out and to be happy, and to, even though you can't change some things, because there's not a cure.
No, there's no cure.
There's no cure. There's no treatments.
No.
It's just go to the doctor, see where your eyes are at this point in time.
And he says sometime, maybe in the future, there will be something, but it'll probably be too late for me, right? So and I just have to accept that, and I have. And so, but that means that I'm prepared for whatever is going to come next. Doesn't mean it doesn't sometimes bug me.
Yeah, it's hard. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, sometimes I feel trapped, right?
Right.
But that's just everybody's got
And that's
that.
human, right?
Everybody's
that's
got
human
it.
Of just being like, you know what, today I'm just going to be mad. Today I'm just going to feel this way. Give me this moment to feel this way, and then I will get over it. I'll move on. So, because we love books, and we love writing, and we love to read books, and we love to write.
Writing.
All that goes in the same, but we brought a few books today just to give some recommendations of main characters within books that deal with severe disabilities that they have to overcome in the end. And there's a lot of out there. There's a lot of books like that to give encouragement.
And everybody knows about The Fault in Our Stars, right? Mm-hmm. So this is something that they were not able to overcome, but lived a life, right? Lived the life they were given. And I feel like that's super important. Everybody knows Wonder. I know.
Yeah.
Everyone will have a good cry over
Yes.
Wonder. Same situation. Somebody who's just dealing with a different reality. I love that these books give us a little glimpse into other people. I think it helps us be empathetic, more understanding, and view the world through a different lens. This is one of my all-time favorite books, actually. All the Light We Cannot See. The girl is actually blind, and so I don't know if you've read this, but. Super interesting the guy who wrote it is not blind, but he kind of nailed it. So anyway, that is a good one. So I just had a couple of these I grabbed off my shelf. The others I don't have right now. So there's a few book recommendations of disabilities. There's a long list. If you Google it, you can find tons of books that feature people with different disabilities.
If you have anything that you wanted to add, or have any comments or questions that you'd like to ask us, please put it in the comments.
Especially if you have Stargardts and you happen to see this, I would love to hear from you, because there are not a lot of us, and it's always fun to talk to people who have the same kind of same kind of struggle. So
They got the lottery too.
there are only a few, it's kind of like it's like an elitist society, really. So yeah, and we'd love to hear about all the different, maybe the different struggles that are happening. So
in your life.
Yeah.
So please
and we can do
leave
it together.
comments. Yeah.
So hang in there, everybody.
And we'll
Talk
talk
to you soon.